Welcome, people, to another episode of Wealth for Generations. I am your host, Elijah Lee, with my co-host, my two co-hosts for today. We have Miss Jess and Patrick.
What's up? What's up?
Hello.
So I wanted to welcome you guys to another episode. How are you guys doing today, Patrick, Jess?
Great.
Doing
Great.
good.
Thank
Doing
you.
Good,
good.
good.
Beautiful
Awesome,
outside.
awesome.
Woke up on the right side of the bed, so I'm good.
Right. I mean,
Yeah,
it's hot,
it
but I
really
guess it
is.
still looks beautiful though.
hmm
Yeah.
For sure.
So today on this episode, we're going to kind of focus on the health is wealth section of today. Okay, so we have segments for the Wealth for Generation podcast, but today we have a special treat for you guys. We're going to do a little in-depth interview and official introduction to one of my official co-hosts. So both of these people here that you see beside me, Patrick and Jess, are both going to be my co-hosts for this wonderful podcast. But I'm going to have a set of rotating co-hosts just to keep you on your toes. But today we're going to highlight Miss Jessica. So as we go into our first segment, I would like to officially introduce this woman sitting with us today. She is just blooming like crazy on the path right now. And I just wanted her to come on and kind of take some time to let us know uh, the difference between the path that she was on, that late night bartender closing up the bar um, on Northeast Side, to where she at now, being a colonoscopy. I think I said that right. I always mess
No.
up that word, but she works for Be More Clean, and
Mhm.
she does colonics, the actual term. Yeah, I always murder that name.
It's-
But Be More Clean is actually located in Scottsdale. Jessica is originally from New York. She has four beautiful children, beautiful and talented children. And she is just honestly just a badass chick. She's got a garden going on and all this stuff, and she still manages to be a wonderful mother. And normally I'm her sidekick, but at Wealth for Generations, she's my sidekick.
nice, nice.
So let's get a round of applause for Miss Jessica Marrero.
Yay.
So as we delve, or as we dip, I suppose, because we gotta have divin to already have dove, if those are even words. But anyways, as we get into this health is wealth segment, what is it that we're going to be going over as far as making sure that we take consideration of our health so we can enjoy the wealth that we wish to attain?
Yeah. So, a little backstory. I bartended for 23 years, so a lot of drinking, a lot of illegal things happening. Late nights, eating crappy food in the middle of the night, and I never really knew that I was unhealthy because I was super skinny. And when I had my fourth child at the age of almost 37, my system just totally crashed, and I thought it was because I was old and I was having a baby, but, that really wasn't the case. What I, later found after quite a few years of trying all the diets and everything else, was that I had a lot of healing to do. So, about 2 years ago, I started at, Be More Clean, and I've done a lot of deep cleansing and all sorts
And
of crazy
actually, what?
stuff.
So I murdered it like 3 times. But what is your actual title at Be More Clean?
I'm a hydrocolon therapist.
There we go.
So, I used to fill people for a living, and now I empty people for a living. But our health really starts in our colon. It's such an integral part of the way our system runs. It's kind of, if you think about our body, our blood is our oil, just like in an engine, and it has a filter, and we have a filtration system. And when we clog it up, with lifestyle choices, bad eating, drugs, alcohol, smoking, stress, I mean, just the air we breathe, we see all that smog. That's not
Yeah.
good stuff that we're breathing
All
in.
that dust that was in the air yesterday, you could
Yeah.
see it in the
Yeah.
headlights.
So, when you don't cleanse your body, you don't clean your filters, your blood gets dirty and it causes a lot of issues in your system. And that's pretty much what was going on with me. I had a lot of different ailments. I felt like my muscles were deteriorating. I could not get enough sleep. It didn't matter how many energy drinks I drank, I would not have energy. I had a bad temper, which was really unlike me. Just no motivation. I mean, there was so many things that were happening. My hair was thinning. I had acne, and I have pretty much reversed all of that in just 2 years. So 41 years of damage and 2 years of deep cleansing. I've made a lot of
Mhm.
progress,
So
but
you're saying that you reversed pretty much all of that off of oil change?
off of, yeah, basically
Because
cleaning up my system. Yeah,
it's
making
basically like what a, colonic does, right? Is what you're saying? It basically kinda helps
it's a
clean out
part
your
of it.
system?
Yeah, it's a part of it. So your colon, a lot of people will say your colon is your second brain, but I would argue that it's your first because it makes the microbes that live in your colon make the chemicals for your brain. So without a clean colon, your microbes can't function properly. And
Mm,
then even your brain can't get the chemicals, the food that it needs.
mhm,
So I firmly believe that a lot of reason why people deal with depression and they can't sleep well is because their microbes are out of balance. We are more microbes than we are human cells. And when they're out of balance, our bodies just can't function properly. So a lot of people get depression, ADHD, they can't sleep, anxiety. All of this can be fixed by balancing the colon
mhm. There is a universe
in our
inside of
colon.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At what
it's true.
moment was it to where you're like, okay, I need to change? Like this is it. It was like your last straw.
Um, well, I was trying to be patient with myself because it was my 4th child, and I knew, I know it takes about a year to get back
Okay.
into the swing of things. But I started gaining weight after I had him,
Hmm.
and that had never happened to me before. Um, and I almost felt like I was depressed. I kept telling my sister, I'm like, I think I'm depressed, but I didn't really feel necessarily unhappy.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of cleanses orally, but I wasn't cleansing my colon, and nothing was working, and I really didn't know what to do. So I just started chalking it up to that I was old.
Oh man.
But when I started
And I
working
refuse
at,
to let you be old. You're not old.
I am not, but that's how I was feeling, And when I started at Be More Clean, I've just learned so much. I've done hours upon hours of studies and taking courses with naturopath doctors and healers, and realizing that your body is so much more than just the physical.
Okay.
It's also the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. So, and that all affects how our bodies function.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
if you have past trauma like most of us do, that's going to affect your health. Um, the food you put in your body, the stuff you put on your skin, the chemicals you clean your home with, all the things that we do that we don't realize are bogging our systems down, and they are really poisoning us. And
Hmm.
then we hit that wall and we're like,
Yeah.
what the heck? But I eat healthy. But what about all the other things that you're doing? You can eat as clean as you possibly can. You're still going to need to do cleansing
Okay.
because
mhm.
we live in a society that's just toxic.
So if someone's at that moment as you were, what would you say would be their initial step to more of in a progressive way? Like what's
Um,
the first thing they should be doing?
Having an open mind,
Okay.
really,
Mhm,
and start reading labels. If you can't pronounce it, it's not food. You shouldn't
Yeah.
be putting it in your body,
Mhm.
really.
and you gotta remember that you can't grow without change.
Exactly.
Like, that's one of the first things you gotta accept with, and that's with anything where you're gonna change anything in your diet, or in your, not in your diet, but anything in your life.
Mhm.
You have to come with that acceptance first, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, and if you're not feeling well, how are you gonna be productive? How are you gonna be a good parent? How, like, I don't want my kids to have to change my diapers when I get older.
Yeah.
I wanna go out with a bang.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, just all of those things, and it is an investment. People are like, "Oh, organic food's expensive." And it's like, "Yeah, well, so are medical bills
Yeah.
and prescription medicines." And once you start going on prescription medicines, you're going to have some other symptoms. You're going to have to take other medication because those medications are not there to cure you. They're there to treat the symptom. So when you're having symptoms, that's your body talking to you. It's like, hey, something's wrong here. And then you're taking a pill and now your body can't talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
It can't tell you something's happening. So the cause of the issue isn't gone. You just can't hear your body yelling at you anymore.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you, there has never been a time where I've looked at somebody's prescriptions and looked up the side effects.
Oh man, they're the worst.
And the side effects are exactly what the pill is supposed to be trying to solve.
Yeah.
So, you know, people that are having issues with their colon, which that's mostly what we get that come in, but not only, but a lot of people that come in, they're looking for other ways to heal because doctors have failed them.
Okay.
And they've tried everything and all these medications, and they're just like at their wits' end. And so they start going, you know, the natural path, and with diet and some cleansing, they are healing themselves. And it's amazing that our bodies have the ability to do that. We're just not taught that. We're taught to be dependent on
Your doctor.
medications. Yeah, we put so much weight on these guys in white coats or women in white coats. And so many times when they can't figure out what's going on with you, you know, they'll just tell you, oh, you're fine. You know, just
brushing off the issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just they'll put a label on it like, oh, you have irritable bowel syndrome. What does that mean? Yeah. That means they can't figure out what's going on with you. That's what that means.
So then what would you say as far as self-care wise? What's something that you think you could keep an eye on to kind of see how your gut and your colon is, if whether it's healthy at the look of an eye, I guess you could say, instead of having a physician check it for you?
Well, one telling thing is if you're eating 2 or 3 meals a day and you're pooping once or maybe every other day,
Oh
you
yeah, by the
have
way,
a
guys,
big problem.
we're gonna be talking about poop today,
Yeah, sorry.
just so you know. But go on.
But that's, you know, that's the function of the colon. So, if you aren't evacuating per meal you're having a day, then your colon's moving slow. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So that's a huge thing. And you can test it to see how slow it's actually moving. You can eat something like corn and see how long it takes to come out. If you're not seeing it within 8 to 12 hours of eating it, your colon's moving slow. So that's just a good way to test something that doesn't break down easily. I can't tell you how many people I've done colonics for, and I'm like, "Oh, you had mushrooms," and they're like, "Oh my god, that was like a week and a half ago."
Oh man.
Wow.
Because we could see, you know, what's coming out.
Yeah, you get to see all that goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you present that? Like, at least just in my, you know, for me, I'm very, I don't know, I guess prideful, maybe, where I'm like, I don't want anything coming near my butt.
Yeah.
So how do you present that to me to say, okay, like, go get this done or go get this checked up before it ends up being a situation down the road?
Do you
And
wanna
that's
die?
exactly it.
No, I
mean,
don't.
Do
But
it.
yeah.
it's not a sexual thing. It's
Yeah.
for your health.
Yeah.
You know, and it is the most gentle, natural way to cleanse your body.
Yeah.
It's just water. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no chemicals. There's no aftercare. You come in, you poop for about 40 to 45 minutes, and you
Yeah.
leave feeling great.
Okay.
I mean, we get a lot of men. We have about 50% of our clients are men.
Yeah.
And a lot of
I'm not
times
gonna
they're
lie.
like,
I tried it.
mhm.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be totally honest.
Yeah.
It was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. But how'd you feel after?
But that's what I was gonna say. But
Yeah.
I did feel really good. And when I left, like I said, I'm being totally honest. When I left, I was like, fuck that. I'm never doing that shit again. That was the most uncomfortable thing in my life. But then I felt good. And then I went 2 more times. And it was still weird as fuck. It got easier, but it's just you feel good after it. Like, it's just there's no way around it. You feel a lot better. You feel cleansed out. And it's been a while since I've had one, and as weird as it is, and as much as I don't want to, I've
Yeah.
actually been contemplating doing it again.
Yeah.
Okay. How often do people go to do it?
It just really depends. I would always tell anybody to listen to your body.
Mhm.
So, some people, they are pooping regularly. It doesn't mean they don't need a colonic.
Okay.
Okay, they were doing this in ancient Egyptian times. This is
Yeah.
a very old practice, and we know
Okay.
how smart the ancient Egyptians were.
Yeah.
So it's just good for anybody to do. So if you're pooping regularly and you don't necessarily have any issues going on in your
Mhm.
colon, you can come every 6 months and do a
Okay.
series of 3, you know?
Yeah.
But for myself, I would never do less than 3 a month, but that's for me personally.
Yeah.
I'm also spoiled. I get a very good discount, so I actually
Right.
give myself a colonic at least 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Must be nice. You get to work at the
Yeah,
hydro
it
spa.
is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with the uncomfortable part, it's going to be uncomfortable if you have a lot of toxins in your system. If you eat clean and you're going to the bathroom regularly, it's not going to be that tough.
Okay.
So when somebody is having a tough session, you might get nauseous, you might feel shaky, hot cold sweats, dizzy.
Yeah, I got cramps. I did have
Yeah.
some I mean, it wasn't anything major. It was like
Yeah.
you remember the little water cramp you used to get when you
Yeah.
ran in school and stuff, and
Yeah.
get a little dehydrated, you get that little cramp right there.
Yeah.
That's basically what it felt, but like a mild one.
Okay.
Nothing that was like, "Oh my god, I need to tap out." No. It was nothing mild. And then that, I mean, for the most part, that was the only pain as far as like in the colonic. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, that was the only pain, period.
that
Because
should be the only pain.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. The insertion, it feels weird,
Yeah.
but it should never
it does.
ever be painful.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about anatomy.
Uh-huh.
Your colon is as long as you're tall, and that's just your large intestine. Your small intestine is 22 feet long. And you can carry 5 to 10 pounds of feces per foot of colon. That's your large intestine. Your large intestine is as wide as your wrist.
Okay.
And your descending colon is as long as your forearm.
Okay.
So that's how you measure yours. I measure mine. He measures his. So when you go to the bathroom, it should be as wide as your wrist or
Oh, wow.
close to, and about as long as your forearm, because that means you're
Interesting.
sweeping your colon wall and you're getting a full evacuation.
and that's the poop coming out she's talking about.
And most people aren't
poop.
eliminating everything. So people will be like, yeah, I poop like 5 times a day. All right, well, how big is it?
Yeah.
Because you're dropping turds.
Is it little nuggets? Is it skinny? If it's skinny and long, you have inflammation inside your colon. If it's coming out rocky, you're dehydrated. So, our poop tells us a lot about
it's
our
runny?
bodies.
Uh,
If it's runny, you're actually constipated. And so the reason being is that when your poop enters your colon, it's liquid.
Okay.
And it slowly goes through, and then your colon absorbs that last bit of moisture. And then what's left behind is the fiber, the stuff that can't get broken down.
Yeah.
So that's what forms the poop. But if you're really backed up, that liquid, when it enters your large intestine, it has nowhere to go but out. So liquidy new poop can go right past old blockage.
I get it. Yeah.
So maybe you traveled a lot one week and you were really stressed out and you were dehydrated. You can get blockages along your colon.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then the new stuff can go right past the old stuff.
and then you can go see Jess and get some water shot up your butt and loosen that all up.
Yeah. So anyway, your rectum can also open to the width of your wrist.
Okay.
So the tubes that go in, the biggest one is just a little bit bigger than a tampon.
Yeah.
And the other one is skinnier than my pinky.
Okay.
So there's 2 different types that you can do. One is the closed unit, where I would be in there with you the whole time, controlling the water flow and the
You
releases.
can hold your hand and dab your sweat off and
I
everything.
do
like
that
Massage
sometimes.
your belly.
Rub your leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, rub your belly. Try and loosen up those blockages because I can feel them.
Okay.
Yeah, and when I'm rubbing someone's stomach, I'm like, oh, is it sensitive there? And they tell me, yeah. I'm like, well, that's a blockage. So we'll work that out and help move it along.
The colon whisperer.
Yeah. And then the other unit, it's like you're laying on a toilet. The speculum is really, really tiny. That's the one that Elijah did. That's the one that I usually do because I can't do the other one on myself. It's really tiny. It's like you're laying on a toilet and it just puts the water in your colon. You hold it in, and when you feel like you need to go to the bathroom, you just go. And then you hold more water in and you go.
Okay.
So there's no pain besides if you're getting crampy or something like that. But it's not to say everyone's going to have the same experience because everyone's colon is in a different state.
Yeah. So if you
So.
do it, let's say, are you having accidents? Like, are you shitting yourself
Oh, no.
from that point
No,
on?
no,
Like,
no.
okay. I didn't know if it was like just a release for the rest of the day. You're just like, shit.
No.
Yeah, they send you out of the spa with a pack of the pins. They ask you what your size is before you sign the waiver and everything.
No. Nope. I'll do a colonic and then I'll go right into a client's room and give them a colonic, and I'm in there for 45 minutes and I'm good to go.
Definitely learned a lot because I honestly thought it was a drink. I'm like, shit.
Oh no.
A
So
colonic.
and those drinks are so toxic.
Yeah.
And that's what the doctor gives you when you go in. You're like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
constipated,
like
and they
that,
give you those nasty drinks, and
like
they're
some kind of citric acid or something
it's
like that, and it's
nasty.
supposed to make you poop. Is that what you're talking about? And one stuff I think I saw it on
it
social
sounded
media.
like a drink. Yeah.
Let's do a quick break, man.
We'll do a quick break. All righty, let's get some bills paid and do a quick little break. Habari.
Sure.
Let's give another round of applause for Jess sharing all this beautiful knowledge with us.
Yeah, man. That's amazing knowledge, man. You got to keep your your colon clean. But I wanted to ask you a quick question before we go to the next segment. I have heard that you can overdo this.
So I've done over 300 colonics on myself in less than 2 years, and I feel amazing.
Okay. Like I've heard, like if you can overdo it by washing out some of the nutrients that is needed inside of your gut or your colon.
When you get a colonic, you shouldn't have eaten for hours prior. So there should really be nothing in your colon that's new, ready to absorb, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Right? So when you eat, your food should be digested in about 4 hours. So if you don't eat within that window before you come, then your colon's going to be clear. But also, there is aftercare, and we tell anybody that comes to get colonics, you should be taking probiotics anyway.
Right.
But when you're rinsing out the bad microbes in your system, it actually allows the good microbes to flourish and repopulate.
So you won't wash out the good microbes that need to be there.
Right.
Because that's what some people say, that you can overdo this by washing out some of those microbes that may be needed to your gut to keep your stomach healthy, or to fight off some of the things that need to be fighting.
See, for me, like I'm not even as knowledgeable as she is in the situation, but just for me thinking about it, I wouldn't even see how that could work, because your body is constantly rejuvenating, constantly like I said earlier, there's a universe inside of you.
Yeah.
So in order for you to wash all of that good part of the universe out of you, you probably wouldn't be alive anymore.
No, it's not like
You know
that.
what I mean?
It's like they're saying that it kind of hurt you to be able to fight off some things, is what they're saying. Like
Mm-mm.
there's some of this
Oh, is
gut
it like it
stuff is
kind of
right. It's not
puts
like
your
it,
immune system
It
at a
ac-
little bit more of a
exactly,
risk?
it
exactly. It's not. They're not saying that you should not do these. They're saying that it can be overdone.
it
That's what
actually
some people have been saying.
sorry, yeah. So it actually does the exact opposite.
Okay.
If you aren't feeling good and you come and get a colonic, you're going to recover much faster.
Okay.
Because you're rinsing out those bad microbes and you're giving the good microbes more of a chance to flourish. Um, your immune system, 80% of it starts in your colon. So when your colon's dirty, that's why you got sick in the first place.
Okay.
When you don't have those good microbes and your bad microbes and good microbes are out of balance, that's what allows you to get sick. So let's talk about probiotics for a minute. There are thousands of strains of probiotics. They all have different functions inside of our system, and they are medicine. Like you could literally look up probiotics good for belly fat. And there's
Hmm.
going to be strains that are going to help you break down belly fat. Probiotics that are good for fighting candida. Probiotics that are good for eye health. Probiotics that are good for skin. Are now able to pinpoint specific probiotic strains um, that build up your system. So I take 3 different types of probiotics on a daily basis, and when I run out of those 3, well, I'm taking 3 different brands, let's say. One has 12 probiotic strains in it, the other one has 8, the other one has 10. Um, they're all different from each other, and when I run out of those, I'm gonna get a whole 'nother set because there's thousands of different types of probiotics, they all have different functions in our body.
Hmm.
They also all need different foods. So if you're eating the same 20 foods every week and there's no variety in your diet, you're starving out some of those microbes. So having a very large plant-based diet is so important so you're feeding those good microbes. Um,
Variety.
the variety, yeah. And it doesn't have to be just food. It's tea, it's herbs, it's seasoning that you put in your food. You know, it's not just necessarily from plants, but when you're looking at variety, it's not like just one apple has the same makeup. There's how many different types of apple. So
Yeah.
if you want
Fuji,
if you want
gala,
to
pink,
if you
green.
want to add variety, you can have 4 or 5 different types of apple, 2 different types of pears, 2 different types of oranges, 2 different types of mango, all the colors of quinoa. There's 3 different colors of quinoa, different grains, different colored lentils. Eat the rainbow. When you eat the rainbow, you're going to feed all those good microbes and, use seasoning. We want to use turmeric and
Mhm.
garlic and ginger and all those good things that feed your gut. Garlic and raw onion are amazing for your colon. Artichokes. I mean, there's such a good variety of food out there. It's just getting it into our system. The more raw you can take it in, the better. After you cook anything past 114 degrees, you're losing a very large amount of what that plant has to offer, but also you're killing the digestive enzymes. And that's what helps us break our food down to the proper state so we can absorb the nutrients from it. So if our food doesn't have not probiotics, the digestive enzymes in it, it takes longer for our body to break it down. So you're now cutting into your energy levels. If you're eating raw food, your body doesn't have to work as hard to break it down. So it will help with energy. Um, and it just breaks down to a better state and your colon can absorb more of it. Anything that's cooked, highly processed, meat, dairy that has no enzymes in it and no fiber. So it's doing your colon an injustice. Fiber is huge and you don't want to take fiber, you want to eat fiber.
Mhm.
If you're taking fiber and your colon's moving slow, you're just packing cement in there because it's going slow through your colon. Your colon's going to pull all that moisture out of it. And then you just have this, it goes back to that powdery state. It's really bad for your colon.
I mean, this is not good information because the colon cancer is on the rise.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I mean this.
And it's the diets.
Yeah,
I mean, just
it's
look
what
at
we're
the
eating.
typical
Yeah.
American
Definitely.
diet.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
But
So
it affects your heart, it affects your thyroid, it affects your sensitivity to foods, it affects your brain chemistry. There's nothing that uh, a colon doesn't affect. It plays. There's a place.
It's like a nucleus, but on the lower end.
Yeah, the whole system has to run right in order for the whole system to work properly. So when your colon is not functioning properly, it's going to affect something. People that eat a lot of gluten or they're eating genetically modified food, the genetically modified food, a lot of it is even labeled now as a pesticide because it has built-in pesticides in it. But then also, food that's not organic is being treated with chemicals, herbicides, pesticides,
Mhm.
glyphosate specifically. They are meant to kill microbes. So when you eat that kind of food, you're killing the microbes in your body, and it's it sets everything off. It causes leaky gut. When your gut is very has a very tight joint, and every time you eat gluten, it spreads. It will go back, spread, go back every time you eat it, but eventually it stops going back. And now the food that's in your system gets into your bloodstream before it's broken down properly. And then you get food sensitivities and you're in a chronic state of inflammation. And the inflammation is what causes a lot of those diseases. Yeah.
Well, this is definitely a lot of really good information, and we're definitely going to come back to it. But we do have a couple more segments with Wealth for Generations. So we like to touch on all that. And today, even though we're not going to dive too into it, but Wealth for Generations today, I want you guys to think about saving. Like just not a savings, but just little things you can do here and there to save some money. So, one little thing that I do is I actually do a lot of gig work. So within the gig work, there's a decent amount of situations where I get tips. So if I get a tip, I'm not counting that in my paid income. So if I'm trying to make $20 an hour at this gig and then they tip me an extra 30 bucks at the end of the gig, I only made that $20 an hour. That extra 30, sorry, excuse me. That extra 30, I'm gonna just throw it to the side and try to forget about it. So right now, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do a segment called Wacky Wealth, where we just talk about some people who have done some weird things in order to save a penny or two. So number one, we have a gentleman who oh, sorry, I forgot I thought I had his name down there. But there was a gentleman who saved coffee cups in order to get free refills. So who has a coffee addiction here? I mean, I don't really have a coffee addiction.
I don't drink it
I
at
do
all.
drink
Yeah.
caffeine. I'm not gonna lie, I do consume caffeine, but even though it's not really that great because in my mind it works. I jump between tea, energy drinks, and coffee. So in my mind, I'm not doing too much because when I feel like I'm drinking too many energy drinks, I just start drinking tea. When I feel like I'm drinking too much tea, I just start drinking coffee.
Yeah.
So, but have either of you guys ever tried to save your coffee cup? And this might be a little before our time because I don't think they really did this when I was younger or now. But you guys ever remember saving coffee cups so you
Not
can get a
the
free
coffee
refill?
cups, but the soda cups. I was big
The
on
soda
soda,
cups?
and I've actually
Oh, like at the
retained
Circle
my
K's and stuff like
yeah
that?
QTs. Like if you bring in the other cup, like they
Mhm.
reduce the amount that
Oh.
versus having to pay for a
So
brand
it's
new cup.
still a good
You
idea
still
here
you
and there.
yeah.
Yeah. So were you gonna say something? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I was gonna say, investing into a refillable bottled water is how I saved money
Oh
because I
yeah.
used to buy cases of water and go through them a week because I was drinking at least for myself 50 bottles of water a week. And then with,
Mhm.
you and the kids, I mean, I was just spending what $6 a pop on a case of water, and I'd find bottles all over the house.
Portion of
Like no one
bottles,
knew who
three
it belonged
quarters, one
to, a couple of
quarter.
sips out of it. So it was wasteful. So when we
Mhm.
switched over to getting the 5 gallons, not only are they exponentially cheaper, but then we're not putting all that waste into the universe, which really
Mhm.
made me happy.
Yes, yes. So yeah, so I don't know if you guys caught that, but that's a little save tip, a little extra tidbit right there. 5-gallon jugs. Don't get
Mhm.
those packs of water. Don't go out and get a 24 pack of water. You're wasting your money. Get a 5-gallon jug. Get yourself a nice
That's real.
thermo water bottle and
That's
just fill up
real.
your water bottle.
That's
A-
real.
and also not for nothing, but we don't know what kind of heat and everything those water bottles are going through before they get to us, and they're
Mhm.
leaching toxins into that
Yep.
water.
Yep.
So getting it from the water mill is actually even also a good health move, not only for the environment, for your pocket, and for your health. So it's like
Yeah,
a
it's a win, win,
no-brainer.
win, win,
Yeah.
win. So we got another gentleman here who, all right, when I read this one, I was like, this one's really weird. And I'm gonna actually read this one because it's weird. So it's I took my trash to work. And I was like, what? And spoiler alert, he got it okayed. But okay. So a few years back, the guy says he took a huge or he took a look at the huge garbage receptacle at the place that he worked at a local government building, and he realized how little trash he generated. This guy named Andrew Shiraj. He decided to opt out of garbage pickup, which I guess he lives in a place where you pay for, like, you can just opt out of it. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could. But
We could opt out of it.
yeah, we pay for our
Yeah, I know we pay
sewage.
for it, but
I mean, for our
I thought it was just
trash.
there. Like, you can't be at the grocery store like, no, I want to opt out of that Arizona tax there. I don't want to pay that. But anyway, so he opted out of that and he said he saved about $200 annually from opting out of it. He asked permission from the employer, and what he would do, he actually, and once I got down to the bottom, I was like, okay, it makes a little bit more sense. But he said that he took most of the trash and made a compost, and he tried to recycle as much as he could. So he was mainly taking recycles to the job. But still, I mean, I don't know. Would you guys go that extreme?
I don't know.
I
I mean,
mean, save
for
$200 a
me,
year
I think they charge us $70 every other month to pick up the
every other.
trash.
Oh, so that you'd
So
save a lot
that
more.
yeah, but it just seems like a lot of work. I mean,
Yeah, right.
yeah. I mean, if you're,
Especially with
I
a
mean, if
big
you're
family.
yeah,
If you're a
yeah,
single
if you're a single
person,
guy,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's not a big deal.
But you
But
also
know
got to be
how
a single
often we're
guy.
taking out our
You
trash
got to
and
have a single guy
recycling.
and either have a compost, something to hold the
Yeah.
compost, or a yard.
yeah.
Like if you're a
Yeah.
single guy in a apartment complex or something like that, like, what are you really gonna do?
Yeah. There
Like,
are companies out there that will pick up your compostables.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I thought that one was weird though. Like that's a bit extreme.
Yeah.
But this next one though, kind of like the coffee one, if you put it in the right perspective, I guess a lot of us could relate with the coffee one. But this one right here, I feel like almost everyone, at least American, because I don't know about other countries, any place in America can probably feel this one here. This one is I stocked up on free condiments so I didn't have to buy any. So this guy, and we know we all did it
Yeah.
either intentionally or unintentionally, because if you've eaten at Taco Bell, if you've ever eaten at Taco Bell, you've had some Taco Bell packets at home.
And not
So
just that, it's some of the condiments they don't have in the stores. Like if you go for the Chick-fil-A sauce or just
yeah.
something specific.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
nowadays they got Chick-fil-A
oh yeah,
sauce.
they do.
Yeah.
They do.
I mean,
take
but
it back, yeah.
that's still brand new. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I don't know. I don't think there's a date on this. So, but that is a newer thing. But
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
And
Yeah.
those bottles are expensive too.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to buy a whole 12 ounce
Yeah.
when you just want like a couple of
Just a couple.
packets because
You're not
some
eating it every
nuggets.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't eat nuggets every day. So.
Yeah.
but so this guy, yeah, he went to the extreme though. Like I've definitely done this with the condiments before. I don't think I've ever really done it intentionally, honestly, but if there's some left over in the bag, I used to definitely save them.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
My little guilty one though is every time I go to QT, I grab napkins.
I'm the same way. I
But
actually
that's
have
for my
some stored in
car,
the
you
car
know. You
too.
never know. I got a
Yeah.
kid, he might sneeze,
You
I
have
might
kids.
sneeze, I might,
Yeah.
I keep napkins in the car. I don't want to have to keep actually we don't have napkins, paper napkins at home. So yeah, that's my little thing right there. But this guy, he one up me here. He said that he would even get plastic silverware, so he didn't have to wash his silverware at home.
See, I do that, but I do that at work.
At
Like
work.
I'll grab extra utensils or whatever. So that
Mhm.
if I bring lunch or whatever, or if someone else brings lunch,
Oh, so
I
you
already
like got
have
them
it
at your
stocked.
desk or
Yeah.
something like that.
Or sometimes we run out at work and everybody's just like, hey, because they know that I have some stuff already stored. So
And see, that's more of like you're just preemptive striking. It's
yes,
not really like trying to save a little bit of money, but
yeah,
that's a good idea too.
yeah,
You know, and actually, I've definitely utilized some plastic silverware before because like I said, I do gig work a lot. So sometimes I'm eating in the car, and I might need a plastic fork or something like that. I mean, if I can, and if I plan it, I try to bring my silverware just
yeah.
because I don't really like using a lot of plastic like that. But that's a good idea though. I
Mhm.
like that one.
Yeah.
That
I
was some
mean,
that was a way that we actually save money at home is by going to the cloth napkins.
yes,
So we haven't bought napkins in over a year.
I think it's been
And
longer than a year. Napkins or paper towels?
well, since
Because
we
we get
moved
paper.
into the last house, it's been just a little over a year. Um, and then using hand towels in the kitchen.
Yeah,
'Cause
instead
they
of paper
always kind of
towels.
grossed me out, but I was like, well, if I can buy enough that they get changed every day, so we still use paper towels,
We don't
to
have enough
clean
to
the
change them every
bathroom and
day.
stuff. But yeah, we do.
We might have enough to get them changed every day. We don't have to change every day. I mean, they don't go longer than a few days, but
Yeah.
they don't get changed every day.
But that was a huge expense. We were going through a couple of rolls a day at some points in time, and that saved us a lot of money going from paper to cloth.
I like to think that I'm quite frugal. Some people say I'm cheap, and when they do, I say, "You're damn right." But if you ask me, I'm frugal.
Yeah. Actually, another way we saved money was switching our laundry soap.
That was
So,
you,
yeah.
'cause
So we
I
used
wouldn't have done
to
that. I
we
just
used
throw that shit in there and just wash it.
we used
I
to
don't
do the
know.
liquid laundry soap,
But yeah, the
and
paper one
I
now,
liked
or not the
soap.
paper, but the tab or whatever it is. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So
We're on that
we
new 2022.
we switched to the dehydrated sheets, and they come in a box. So we've reduced our plastic waste.
Nice.
And yeah, and it's a sheet, so it's already measured out. Because with the liquid, I'm always like, put a little bit of extra.
Yeah.
It would be like 96 loads a week and a half later. I'm like, oh, we need laundry soap again.
Mm,
So, but doing it the way that we're doing it, we're reducing the plastic waste, and it keeps me in check. So I don't have to buy laundry soap that often anymore.
yes, that's awesome because it's rubbing off on you.
Yeah. I know with gas and everything else and the
Oh
craziness with
yeah,
food
that
and
one,
everything.
man.
I know one way that you can actually save is, or what I've been told that people are doing is that they'll go to like Fry's, they'll grab the
Mhm,
Fry's gift cards and they'll buy it to like say $100, $200, and they'll actually use it back towards either the food or their
mhm.
gas for themselves because it's actually buying the points. So
Oh
they're
yeah, yeah,
doubling
yeah.
up.
Actually, I
Oh,
never thought about that
that's a
because
good
Yeah.
I'm a
idea.
heavy fries advocate.
Yeah, me too.
And I just always click it like
Yeah.
when I'm talking about my save the coupons and stuff that you can save and stuff. So I always click it just to do it because initially it's like 3 times fuel points. So I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah. And then I go to read it. I'm like, oh, if I get a gift card, I
Yeah.
clicked it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
But
good idea
yeah, that
though.
is a good
Yeah.
idea. But too bad I use Get Upside.
Yeah. That's a great
Excuse
app
me.
too. I cashed in my Get Upside and my Ibotta recently.
Yeah.
In
We're
less
gonna
than a
have an episode
year.
about all of that, so we don't
Okay,
need
so
to
we won't
get
talk
too
about
deep
that.
into that
Okay.
because I want to do a whole episode about the app savings and stuff like that we're gonna do. So, and I got a newer one too that I want to test out and stuff before I like talk about it. I don't really know much about it, but sorry to cut you off,
That's
but we
okay.
needed to go into the next segment
Yeah.
anyways. So, are either one of you guys actually familiar with Mr. Robert Frederick Smith?
That sounds familiar, but
You're
I don't know
probably not,
why.
but I kind of stay up on these little things like this sometimes. But
Yeah, for
Mr.
sure.
Robert Smith, he was the first black billionaire in America.
Okay.
In America. And I actually double checked because or actually, I'm sorry, he was not the first, very, very first one because Oprah Winfrey was.
Mm.
But he was the first non-entertainment, like
Okay.
non-celebrity
Okay.
billionaire. Sorry, I almost messed it up because I was double checking last night, and there is a handful of Nigerians, to believe it or not, that like are pooping on us. They're shitting on American wealth right now. But then I looked at Elon. or and he's at like 200 and something. I was like, whatever. But anyways, I just like looking at quotes and following, wealthy people because we're here at Wealth for Generations. You want to have that right mindset, that wealth mindset, that can-do mindset. You got to be able to make sure that you can keep on pushing and keep going. So, Mr. Robert Smith, he is a very successful man, and he says intelligence can create huge profits. And in fact, you can actually make more money being smart than you can be when you're strong or fast.
Okay. But don't go over it. I mean, what was he? How did he make his billions?
Oh yeah, I was going to get into that right
Oh,
now.
okay.
So
Okay.
Robert Frederick Smith is an American businessman. He's a philanthropist, a chemical engineer, and an investor. So he is the founder, chairman, and CEO of a private company called Vista Equity Partners.
Okay.
So I believe it was when he sold part of the Vista Equity Partners is when he actually became a billionaire. But
Okay.
his money came from that, excuse me, came from that company. So he was a CEO and then he's an investor as well. So it's not just one sole move
Mhm.
that created his wealth.
Yeah.
So it's the investor, he's a chemical engineer, he's a CEO of the
Oh, he
equity.
was on it.
Yeah. So he's doing big things. He's
That's
doing real,
hard
real
work.
big
It's
things. Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah. So that's one of the guys. Like I like to take looks. I guess you could say window shopping. I window shop wealthy people.
Okay.
So like I'll go look at pictures and see what Mr. Smith is doing. I follow Mr. Dwayne, who's the biggest. I mean, if anybody followed wrestling like I did back in the 90s, he is the epitome of what he was trying to be in that ring. He is the people's champ right now. Like he's just, man, I don't even, we should have a segment on him. Seriously. But anyway, so he is actually Mr. Robert Smith. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but it does say 2022 he was recorded at 6.7 billion. So he's definitely has some wealth for, maybe 1, 2, 5, 20 generations. I mean, depending on what the generations after do with it,
Yeah.
sometimes, man, you got that one kid in the generation, he just messes everything up. But
I'm just curious. How old is he?
he is 59.
Oh,
Oh, man.
wow.
So it's never too
Nice.
late to keep pushing
Never.
at that dream.
Hey, man, Kentucky Fried Chicken, the Colonel,
Oh, I love that
or
song.
not the Colonel, I forget his actual name, but we're
Yeah.
just gonna go with the Colonel because that's what we all know as KFC. But he didn't even get his first KFC till he was like 40 something.
Yeah.
And now I mean, he's not a billionaire, but look at that success.
Yeah.
I look at people like that, and that's how I get myself to keep going and trying to believe and build that knowledge, just like
Yeah.
this man. This man has phenomenal knowledge, you know. So we're gonna go into our last segment right now. I think we're getting kind of close on time here.
52.
52. All righty. So our last segment here is called We Building Boy. That worked out perfectly, actually. I didn't really try to do that, but that worked out perfectly. The drum and the applause. So today on We Building Boy, we're going to do a double kind of thing. So we're going to highlight the business called Be More Clean Hydrocolon Therapy. There we go. I always mess that up.
Give
but
yourself a round of
you can go.
applause.
I think I did it the first time that time. So Be More Clean is located on I'm sorry, got my notes here. Sorry. Be More Clean is located at 2334 North Scottsdale Road, suite number 111. That's a lucky number.
Angel
Scottsdale,
numbers.
Arizona, 85257. And if you need to reach them, they can be reached at 480-270-4566. Or you could just talk to this young lady here, Miss Jessica, who happens to work at Be More Clean. Is there any other information you would like to kind of give us about Be More Clean as far as contact or what you guys do specifically there? Not necessarily getting into explaining the benefits, but just what happened, how's it work
Yeah.
there? Like if I wanted to go come in and get a colonic right now, how would I do that?
We have a website that you can go on, create a profile. There's
Which
lots of
is
great
sorry,
information on
but
there.
it's bemoreclean.com
.com.
is the website.
Yes. There's a lot of great information on there, some videos of the differences between the colonics. And then, of course, there's always somebody there to answer your questions if you call. But we're not just colonics, we're a place of holistic health. So we offer infrared sauna. The owner is amazing. She's a holistic nutrition
Oh, I'm sorry.
specialist.
The first and only in Arizona.
Yeah, the only
Only one
black
in
owned
Arizona is the
hydro
first and only in Arizona black owned hydro count.
That
colon
needs a
therapy.
Be more
a round
clean.
of applause.
Yeah.
Right there.
And I just looked, so it's super easy to find.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
And she's located in Scottsdale. That's pretty nice.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, Scottsdale Road in between McDowell and Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have the infrared sauna, holistic nutrition specialist. So she can work with people, all sorts of things, how to detoxify your home, EMFs, all sorts of detoxing, getting you on a good program for nutrition to help meet your goals. And it's not, it's a lot about education. We don't want people to think that you have to restrict yourself. It's just about
Mhm.
finding healthier options.
Yes. You can't grow without
Yeah,
change.
and you don't have to give anything up this day and age. That's the great thing. There's always a healthier alternative out there.
Mhm.
And so a lot of it's education and just, you know, being that support system that people need, because making changes is hard. It's
It is. It
scary.
is.
You never know what kind of information you're going to get out there. But Elizabeth, the owner, is amazing. She's worked with a lot of world-renowned doctors, healers. She's worked at retreat centers.
And that is Miss Elizabeth Joseph.
Yeah, she's helped people reverse diabetes, heart disease. I mean, all sorts of, ailments. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I do, because it's not just about colon, it's about the whole health of the body.
Mhm.
And I love that we have that approach. And, we're able to get our hands on nutraceutical grade products that are all natural, that are herbs. They have no side
Mhm.
effects, that just help people heal. And it's just an amazing place. There's
Yes,
so
it's
much
really
good
awesome.
energy, and everyone really loves working there.
Yes,
And
Elizabeth has energy of her own.
yes. Yeah, and she's so knowledgeable, and we've learned so much, and she's always furthering our education. So that's a great thing, just constantly learning and growing.
And crazy little side note, I met Elizabeth in junior high.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
how
wow.
we met. She introduced us.
Yep,
Wow.
yep.
They grew up together. She always jokes with our son. She's like, "You're here because of me. You owe me your life."
Yes, yes. So be more clean. That is our business spotlight for today on We Building Boy, the very first and only Black-owned hydro colon therapist spa
Mhm.
location
Yeah, and
in Scottsdale.
she also
Yes.
does the Melanin Moms Natural Expo once a year.
Yes, she is the host of that. She's
got a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
get
stuff
her
going on.
on. You're
Yeah.
coming on. You're probably not gonna see this, but you're coming on, Elizabeth Joseph. You're gonna be
She
here,
will.
and she might not see it, but she'll be on. If I gotta put her in a headlock and bring her on, she's gonna be on, and we're gonna get into all of that. Yeah, she's trying to get her own nonprofit. She does Melanin Moms Expo. She has her Be More Clean. She has Be More Raw. Like she's just
She's building.
that's who I'm trying to chase right now. That's who I'm chasing, like you always want to have someone in your circle who you don't necessarily look up to, but someone who kind of keeps you on your toes and motivates you almost.
Yeah.
And that's the one for me. Like I look at her and I'm like, damn, I'm not doing
What was the website again?
enough. Be More Clean.
Okay. And it's
BEMORECL.
I have it at the bottom of the website at the site
Perfect.
right
Oh,
now,
okay,
the screen,
cool,
so
cool.
people can see.
Yeah.
Nice.
And another really amazing thing about her, she's so set on really building and bringing knowledge to the melanated community.
Yes.
So it's just amazing how much she brings people together, and the knowledge and the support she has in the community and watching her growth. And
Yeah, if one
it's
thing's
really
never changed with
awesome.
her, she's always been a social butterfly.
Yeah.
No matter what path she's been on, she's always been a social butterfly. That's for sure.
Hey, you guys a great job of letting people know how to contact them and everything, man. And I think that we did a good job of presenting it. So definitely let her see this.
Yes, definitely. I'm gonna
Because
try
I
to
think
get it
she
to
would-
her,
she would
but
like it, man.
she's just not on Facebook like that. She's just so busy, so that's why I'm kind of like, she might not see it. But
Yeah,
it's
like I
not
said,
only
I'm
on Facebook, so it's
I'm
it's everywhere.
Yeah.
we literally have to book an appointment in her schedule.
Yeah,
to
I have
see
to book
her.
an appointment just so I can say what's up.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
running the business is tough, man. So I know she's busy.
Well,
Man.
she has at least 3.
Yeah.
So
Just
Yeah.
even,
And I'm
just,
sure. I mean, I think you might have some sort of idea how busy it is, just a little bit, right?
Right. Exactly. Just email it to her. You know, let her know.
Right.
She get a
Definitely.
chance. That's cool with me.
All righty, guys. Well, I think that is going to wrap it up for episode number 2 of Wealth for Generations. Let's get a round of applause for my co-host, Miss Jess and Mr. Patrick.
Hey.
And we got Mr. Dip on the 1 and 2s over here.
Yo.
So you guys have a good rest of your Saturday, and I think we're going to wrap it up. Contact us, however. You can Facebook me, Elijah Lee, Facebook. My Wealth for Generations page is connected to the Facebook as well. That's all my contact at the moment. I'm gonna get some more for you guys in the near future. If anyone wants to contact you, Jess, is there a specific way you'd like that, or should they just go through Be More Clean?
Yeah, just through Be More Clean. This way everything can get taken care of through the business.
So when you call 480-270-4566, when they answer and say, "Hey, hello, how's it going? This is Be More Clean," just say, "Can I talk to Jess?"
Well, no, we have a receptionist that does the booking, but they can request to get booked with me.
So you can request to get booked with Jessica Marrero.
Yeah, but all of our therapists are amazing. So if I'm not there,
it's a really amazing atmosphere.
If I'm not there,
It's
I'd
really
still
cool.
rather you come than not come.
Yes. And then Patrick, sir, we'll have you come back and we'll go more in depth with you as well.
Yes, sir.
But if anyone wants to ask you like where you got your hat at or your tattoos or anything like that, is there a way to contact you?
Yeah, I mean they can follow me on Instagram. I have
Instagram.
Batty Battle. And then Facebook, I'm on there, but I'm not on there as much. But it's Patrick Tays. So.
Patrick Tays. All righty. And you know how to catch us with Habari. Catch us at Habari Entertainment.
HabariEntertainment.com as always.
Yes.
Make sure you go there for all your updates on news, entertainment, sports, and more.
All right. And I think we're going to wrap it up.
All right, man.